Namaste and welcome to today's in-depth Vishleshan. We're diving into a piece of history that's pretty much defined entirely by its controversy. And based on your specific requests, we've got a very special structure for today's analysis. We're going to do exactly what you asked. Pifle's story co-explain koro shortly, or fair full story explain koro. So we're looking at a concept with immense gravity, all centered around one single piece of legislation. It's known as the Statute of National Discord.
Okay, so here's our short story hook, pulled straight from our source text. The law that divided the entire country. I mean, wow, just 8 words. But honestly, what an absolute shockwave of a sentence, right? Just think about the sheer gravity it takes for one single legal document to pull that off. We're not talking about some minor, everyday disagreement over local policies here. No, we are talking about a literal legislative earthquake.
So to give you that Sangshipt Kahani, the short story, here's the entire premise, boom, in 3 rapid-fire points. Number 1, a kanun. One single law gets passed. Number 2, Rashtriya Matavhed. It immediately sparks just massive national discord. And number 3, Pura Desh Vibhajit. The ultimate result? The entire country is completely divided. And there it is. That's the short story. One action, immediate friction, and then total fracture.
But, now that we have that short story, we really have to ask the critical question. लेकिन ये कानून इतना विवादित क्यों था? Why exactly was this law so deeply controversial? I mean, how does a piece of paper actually physically divide millions of people? Let's go ahead and slow our pacing down right here. We're going to pivot from that quick summary and transition right into the full story. We need to do a really neutral, analytical breakdown of the very words that define this whole event.
Section 1. Kanun ka Vishleshan, or decoding the statute. Let's get right into the foundation of this controversy.
All right, let's dive into this. The best way to really grasp these complex historical controversies is to just strip them down to their absolute foundation. So let's start with the singularity of the legislation. The source explicitly calls it the law, singular. What's truly wild about this historical anchor is that it wasn't, a decade of shifting cultural norms or some massive package of hundreds of overlapping bills that broke society. Nope. It was just one single statute, and reportedly it was passed with blinding speed and almost zero preliminary debate. Literally, one focused legislative action held the sheer power to completely alter the fabric of a nation.
And what exactly did that one law create? Well, let's look at the actual definition of national discord, or Rashtriya Matbhed. Because objectively speaking, discord isn't just people having different opinions at a dinner party. It is a state of severe disagreement, intense friction, and a fundamental lack of harmony. And think about it. When a society loses its harmony, communication just breaks down. People literally stop seeing themselves as part of the same whole, and they start seeing each other as obstacles. That is the very real, literal rate behind the title, the Statute of National Discord.
Section 2, Rashtriya Vibhajan, the national divide. Let's move into this next phase and see how the mechanics of this national polarization actually worked. You see, when a polarizing statute like this is introduced, it almost always forces a binary choice. It completely strips away any nuance and creates 2 entirely separate realities within one single country, Paksh versus Vipaksh. And just to be clear, for our analysis today, we are remaining strictly impartial. We aren't here to look at who is right or wrong, or left or right. We're just observing the phenomenon itself, Just looking at how one single piece of text can literally force an entire populace into 2 distinct camps that suddenly can't find any common ground.
Now, what is really fascinating about this fracture is the sheer equality of it. We're not talking about a case where some small vocal minority was disagreeing with a massive majority. Not at all. The source material indicates society was split right down the middle, 50-50. Conceptually, that illustrates an absolute societal fracture. The structure of the nation was split so perfectly evenly that everyday stuff, governance, unity, just simple progress, became incredibly, almost impossibly difficult. So the really crucial takeaway is captured right in that phrase, the entire country. I want us to really zoom in on that word entire. In our source quote, that single word signifies the inescapable scale of the statute's impact. It implies that absolutely no region, no demographic, no economic class, and honestly, no local community was left untouched by this discord. This law permeated every single layer of society.
And this brilliantly illustrates the direct cause and effect relationship detailed in our source text. We can see this terrifyingly efficient timeline from legislation directly to polarization. Step 1, कानून बनता है. The law is passed. The catalyst is dropped right into the environment. Step 2. मतभेद शुरू. Discord begins. Friction instantly sparks across the populace like wildfire. And then, step 3. Purna vibhajan. Total division. The ultimate result is that perfectly fractured society we just talked about.
Section 3. Gera Asar, the lasting impact. Let's look at the ultimate consequences of all this division. As we wrap things up today, we have to connect this back to why we're even studying this in the first place. Listen, legislation is never just ink on paper, right? It literally dictates the boundaries of human interaction within a society. Understanding how a single statute can trigger that kind of national discord helps us critically analyze the laws and policies popping up in our own times. So I want to leave you with this thought-provoking question to chew on. क्या एक कानून सच में पूरे देश की पहचान बदल सकता है? Can one law truly change the identity of an entire country? Well, based on the text we've analyzed today, the answer seems to be a resounding yes. It's a stark reminder of the immense, lingering power embedded within the Statute of National Discord. Thank you so much for joining me for this visualization. Keep asking those great questions, and I'll see you in our next explainer.